As histórias do Spirit começam a ser republicadas nos Estados Unidos e no Brasil. O personagem atravessa o Atlântico e ganha novos mercados e novos leitores na Europa.
La première fois que j'ai découvert le travail de Will Eisner, c'était dans le journal Tintin, le journal assez connu en France, en Belgique et en Suisse.
Well, I was fairly prolific during the 1970s, but the business really is a monster and it controls me. So my own career is on the back burner, and I occasionally do a page. Usually it's when another editor intimidates me. I can't edit myself. But I still regard myself as a cartoonist.
Dennis Kitchen é um editor diferente, um artista tentando conciliar a ética igualitária da geração hippie com a sua vocação pessoal para os negócios.
When I first started publishing Will Eisner's work, he was still in his business stage. This was about 1970 or 71. I visited his office on Park Avenue in New York, and I was still in my hippie stage. I think he was excited by the fact that comics were undergoing a certain revival and that he was still remembered and highly regarded.
Dennis struck me as a very unusual person because he wanted to publish. He wanted to do the things that were regarded as establishment things. Dennis built a reputation that was quite remarkable. He was respected and trusted by all the underground cartoonists who were afraid of being exploited.
It was he who first insisted that I sign a contract with him. And I said, well, I don't do contracts. And he said, well, I don't do work without a contract. So we had to find a compromise, and of course he won. Basically, he embarrassed me into doing the contract, and I remember at the time thinking, well, Will is an older fellow, and I have to placate him, and really, this is the only time I will ever do this, so why not? But what Will did was, in his own way, he was giving me business lessons, and he was teaching me that this was not an oppressive thing. This was not something that a publisher had to force on an artist. It was something that simply reflected an understanding between two parties.
Will cria e desenha lindas capas coloridas para as republicações dos anos 70. As histórias perdem a cor, mas ganham em dramaticidade.
A lot of fans actually preferred them in black and white, which surprised me, because I felt we would be criticized for doing them in black and white. And I think the reason is because Will's line art is so powerful, and because they have a certain film noir quality about them. The stories he tells are just as effective in black and white, and arguably more effective. My personal preference would be to do them in color, but to do them in color right.
And at that time also, I had a call from Stan Lee, who asked me, he said, would I let Marvel publish the Spirit? And I decided not to. I have always been successful all my life with a small publisher. I find that economically you may not do quite as well, but in the end you do better because you're always dealing with someone who will answer the phone to you. If you deal with a very large publisher, sooner or later you wind up dealing with somebody at very low level, who may be a very nice person, but is unable to make decisions.
Nos conturbados anos 70, Will Eisner finalmente faz sua primeira visita ao Brasil. Os tempos eram duros, a censura atuava, mas também aqui os cartunistas estavam na linha de frente na luta pela liberdade de expressão.
I finally got to Brazil to attend a convention in Avaré. In Rio, I got to Rio first, and I met Ziraldo. We had lunch in a little bistro. We became very friendly immediately. We had a good time talking with each other. I was very impressed with him because he just got out of jail.
Eu cheguei na mesa e estava o Will Eisner. Meu joelho ficou bambinho. Eu não posso acreditar. Vou conhecer o cara que desenhou o espírito, o cara que povoou a minha infância de sonho. E a gente ficou amigo íntimo. Eu tenho um grande orgulho de saber que o Eisner Eu vou a Nova York, ele recebe a gente com o mesmo carinho que nós recebemos ele aqui. Ele tem vários amigos brasileiros, já é a 5ª vez que ele vem aqui. Ele só não muda para aqui porque ele não consegue aprender português, senão ele mudava.
A essa altura, o Spirit já se tornara um clássico. Um desses personagens que passam de pai para filho.
I was totally into Batman and the superhero stuff. And my father talked about stuff that he read. And he used to talk about the spirit. And he raved about the spirit and raved about the fact that he was a true superhero in the sense of the action, the adventures that he had done. I finally actually saw a whole Will Eisner spirit special done for Warren, by Warren Publishing. And some of it was in color and some of it was in black and white. And that's really when I saw a whole bunch of it together like that.
Durante os anos 80, o relacionamento de Eisner com o Brasil se aprofundou. Novas edições nacionais do Spirit e novas visitas de Will ao país.
Lá vem o bicão no nosso esgoto outra vez.
A gente levou uma capa igual do Spirit, né? Levamos uma máscara e um chapéu, né? E como a imprensa já ia estar aguardando ele, logo que ele descesse do avião, né? A gente falou assim, seria muito legal que ele tirasse umas fotos vestido de Spirit.
Ele tinha enfrentado uma viagem de Nova York até São Paulo, né? Tava bem cansado. Ele botou uma máscara do Spirit e uma capa que os cartunistas tinham trazido e ficou andando pelo aeroporto com aquilo.
E aí foi muito legal, porque ele desceu do aeroporto, abraçou todo mundo, os jornalistas estavam lá, mostramos a capa, ele achou legal, escolheu um lugar perto de umas árvores, viu onde que tinha uma sombra, tirou fotos e as fotos ficaram bárbaras, então foram capas dos jornais.
O primeiro encontro pessoal do Eisner, eu penso que foi promovido pelo Álvaro Moya. Ele visitou nosso estúdio e eu fiquei babando, né? Era o meu ídolo, meu guru, tudo que eu desejava ser na vida como autor, como desenhista de histórias em quadrinhos, estava ali em cores e ao vivo na minha frente. A partir dali se tornou grande amigo. Ele visitou o estúdio, deu autógrafo para todo mundo, desenhou. O Will Eisner realmente fez uma belezinha de material no álbum Os 30 Anos da Mônica. Foi uma brincadeira gostosa e uma gentileza, logicamente, uma grande gentileza dele.
O combatente do crime, Danny Colt, ainda venceria a morte outra vez. Dennis Kitchen queria editar novas aventuras do herói mascarado, mas tinha pela frente o desinteresse de Eisner em retomar o personagem e o enorme mito de que o Spirit só podia ser desenhado e escrito pelo seu criador.
The Spirit, the New Adventures, as we're calling it, came about as a result of me shamelessly badgering Will for many years to do new stories. And
one of the major reasons I have refused to do it is because I've already done it, and there's so many other things to do that there is really no challenge anymore to do a new Spirit story.
Finally I said, well, Will, I understand and respect the fact that you don't want to do the Spirit anymore. I accept this. Why won't you let other artists and writers tackle your character?
I said, well, I will consider licensing you to get some other people to produce the Spirit if you can get only the very best men in the field. But to my surprise, Kitchen Sink got Neil Gaiman, Alan Moore, Dave Gibbons, Frank Miller. They all wanted to do a Spirit story again.
Almost could have charged those artists to do the Spirit. I didn't have to pay them.
As novas aventuras trazem a marca de Kitchen na volta do colorido e demonstram claramente que o personagem ainda tem relevância para os leitores de hoje.
Pega!
Oh! Ei, ei, ei!
Oh.
The Spirit has been in print almost nonstop since it ended. I think it is unprecedented among American comics that something has continued to be reprinted for such a long period of time, considering that its first run was 12 years, and in the subsequent nearly 50 years, one publisher or another has continued to keep it in print, is remarkable. And I think it's the ultimate testimony to the importance of the work.
I am amazed by the endurance of this character, and I think probably what we have on our hands here now is a kind of Sherlock Holmes story, which has a classical continuation.